But the 5 things that I kind of said to people was the, for 10,000 steps a day or walking more, increasing your water intake, the rest and recovery. We just delved into sleep a little bit more there. Trying to aim for 7 hours sleep a night. The being in a general caloric deficit, even if it's only a slight deficit of a couple of hundred a day or something like that. And then the third thing being to actually train kind of strength training or whole body strength training 3 times a week, and it could just be, it doesn't have to be an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours. It can be sort of a 30 to 45 minute session 3 times a week. But if you do all of the other things and you're doing all of the other things, the weight will come down. You don't need to be doing these huge blocks of intentional cardio, because someone else spoke to me the other day and they said, oh, how much cardio do you do? And I said, well, I do 2 spinning classes a week, one on a Monday morning and one on a Saturday. And then I just walk, and that's it,
I like the Dan John thing on that. How much cardio do you do? It's like, I do it all day, every day.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
yeah.
If you're alive, you're doing cardio, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So just as a kind of a bit of a recap, guys, just for what we've talked about today, in terms of the training. So I think we've got basically 2 lists of 5 that we've kind of discussed. For training, we've got push, pull, hinge, squat, loaded carry. And then there's an additional thing there, which we mentioned, which is trying to get on the floor often and get off the floor. So it could be a Turkish get up or changing the levels that you're training at, either standing, tall kneeling, which is kneeling on both knees, half kneeling, which is 1 knee on the floor, 1 foot on the ground, or laying on the floor, So that's kind of a good idea, a good way to kind of make sure you've got a well-rounded program. And then the 5 things that we spoke about in terms of to help you, lose weight or reduce body fat is that, the 10,000 steps, loads of water, 7 hours sleep per night, strength training 3 times a week, and ensuring that you're overall in a caloric deficit. And you will know if you're in a caloric deficit because your body weight will consistently come down. It might not come down. And this is the thing, like day to day, there's going to be fluctuations. If you weigh yourself every day, you might see that you go down by 1 pound, then you go up by 2 pounds, then you come down by half a pound, then you go up by 2 pounds, then you come down by 3 pounds. But if you track a trend over, if you are going to weigh yourself daily, it's entirely up to you. You might track a trend over 30 days, or 14 days to 30 days. And if it's not coming down, then you are not in a caloric deficit. That's straightforward. So you need to adjust either your inputs, what you're taking in calorie wise, or your outputs, what you're doing exercise wise. But I wouldn't recommend massively increasing the outputs. It's far easier to look and try and be a little bit more diligent on the inputs than just trying to burn calories for the sake of burning calories. But yeah, hopefully that's given people, given you guys something to think about. It might have just reinforced things you already knew. It might have reminded you of things that you knew but you forgot, or it might be new information. I'm not sure.
Might put you to sleep. Who knows?
Might put you to sleep. No, but that was nice. That was good. That was good. Good chatting, Pete. Is there anything you'd like to say before we kind of before we shut up shop for the week?
Well, yeah, just quickly. The thing about strength training 3 times a week as well is people might not think like, oh, that doesn't sound very much, especially if it's only half an hour and stuff like that. But when we spoke to Jeff Sokol the other week, he basically said that that's what he's done on average 3 times a week for the last 15 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you look at him and think like, oh, he always seems to be doing something. He seems to do way more than that. And you might and I spoke about this. I think I mentioned it not last week, the week before with Paul. And I said, at the minute I'm on 3 sessions a week. And he was like, is that all? Is that all you're doing? Because I was doing 6 a week, but now I'm only on 3 because everything's got a bit heavier. So as it's got heavier and I've got stronger, I need more recovery. So therefore, I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's it. Everything else is walking, lifting a few stones here and there. So, you know, and Gemma mentioned it last week. You do strength training. You don't necessarily gain more muscle, but you keep your lean muscle. You lose body fat. Muscle burns more than fat anyway, calories wise. You get better bone density, all of that sort of stuff. So, it's just generally good for you to make, and then it'll make all the other neat stuff, going walking and everything, easier anyway. So yeah,
no, I think you're 100% right, and I think that's the thing, that people want to pull on that exercise lever, because actually doing exercise is, for most people, once you get into it, is the easy part, you know. And actually having more self-control outside of the gym, and, you know, making sure you get to bed at a decent time, and drinking more water, and walking more, and, you know, maybe being a little bit more diligent with your food and stuff, or you know, is harder for most people. That's where people find the challenge. So they just think, well, I'll just do more exercise and it will cancel out all the other stuff, and then the other stuff doesn't really matter. But I think that as certainly as I get older, and as I talk to more people who are older, all the other stuff is much more important, you know. And you can't just say, well, I'll do more exercise and it doesn't matter what I do with the rest of my life. You know, you have to start taking a more holistic approach, and taking everything a little bit more seriously, because you can get away with it when you, well, we won't go back to your quote from you can get away with it when you're young, you know.
the Rimmer quote, yeah.
The Rimmer quote, yeah. You can get away with it when you're young, and when you get older, you know, you really have to take the water seriously, the sleep seriously, the walking seriously, you know, the mobility stuff that you do seriously, and eating, you know, just kind of, I suppose, again, it's a big topic, but valuing your body and your health and your life, and splurging now and then, and going around holidaying, having a few beers and stuff, but don't treat your body like a trash can.